This is an excerpt from yesterday's Tim Black Live, November 16. Black people, we got real issues. We need not be concerning ourselves on the BS. Just in case anybody here is new, housing is the way America determines how well you're doing as a group. They don't look at who played basketball last season. They don't look at the actors in Hollywood. That's what liars do to try to distract away from all the mass black people that don't have money. They say, well, look at LeBron. Look at Oprah. No one goes, look at Woody Allen. Look at Bill Gates. Before we go any further, let me let you know, the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. You notice no white people go to poor white people and say, look at Bill Gates. Look at the guy that invented Gateway Computers. Look at the Walmarts. Look at this. Look at CVS. Because they know it'll be a white man over there with a shotgun going, what the hell about him? Clank, clank. I said, we need help here. We'll be outside waiting on you. But only us, they get to use that bullshit. You get what I'm saying? No one tries it with the whites. No one goes to the mountains of Kentucky. No one goes to the lows at Appalachia, to the poor whites in Mississippi, poor whites of Indiana, Idaho, Montana. No one goes to them and says, why? Well, look at the guy that invented the color blue. Probably some white dude who stole it from a black dude. White people do not go to other white people that are struggling and say, what about the rich white people? Because see, they know damn well those poor white people are going to react differently. Those poor white people will react, they'll be like, oh shit, I forgot. You mean they got money? Well, let's go see them. That's them poor whites start hatching plans to go get them rich people. They don't see them as representing. They see them as food. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going somewhere deep with this. This is the type of shit Torre should talk about. But instead, he'll duck me when I call him out in public. He'd rather go after Charlemagne all day. Look, I got no problems going after Charlemagne. But people like Torre, a couple of people that work at the grill on the roof, they don't want to talk about real shit. What I'm doing right now is telling you about real shit. This should have been a column for very smart brothers. But it's sad. Instead it'll be, black men need to get themselves together. What I'm trying to tell you is, they're very selective. White people do not look at rich white people. Poor working class white people busting their ass, working 13-hour days, barely getting by. No one goes to them and says, but what about all the white directors that are making money? You need to be like them. Look at them. Those poor whites and working class white people do not look at rich white people and go, they're representing for us. The white people that look up to Elon Musk are just hoping that maybe they can get some of that money. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They do not look at him and go, oh, what an inspiration. See, black people do shit like that. We do that. We look at celebrity blacks and go, we got to ride for them and defend them. And then when they want us to be quiet about our conditions, our situations, which I'm going to bring up a lot of shit tonight, they like to throw those people in our face and say, why aren't you doing as well as them? Why aren't you doing as well as Isaac Hayes III? Look at him. He's got his own platform. We all know his ass would not have that platform if his daddy wasn't Isaac Hayes. Nigga do all this talking, all up Roland's ass cheeks. All this talking. The only reason why he got that platform is because his daddy did. So, I don't know why I put that in. I just thought I just say a name that we knew. So tired of seeing him on every other Roland video. But you know, Roland need the advertising dollars, so Lord knows I'm tired of hearing Roland complain about not getting advertising money. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Once upon a time, America, you looked at housing. Housing was the way we determined who was making it in America and who wasn't. The American dream was formulated through housing. It was through the home. The American home was the leverage and the bedrock of society. And that was a determining factor. If there was one determining factor, if you were going to have a successful household, and if your children will spring up out of a foundation of prosperity, it was owning a home. Since the 1950s, Black Americans haven't moved more than 2 percentage points up in the home ownership category. Who were worth 40% of Black Americans in 1950, 1960 owned their own home. Fast forward to 2022, 40% of Black Americans own their own homes. Consequently, just oppose that to Latino Americans who didn't come here in large numbers until the 1960s because there was a law against it. So they couldn't really. There was limits, had them on the tap, had a governor on that thing. Then an act came called the Naturalization Act, I think it was, the Immigration Naturalization Act, 1960, I think it was, and that opened the floodgates for immigration. But still, it's nothing like what we just saw with Joe Biden. The point is, they've been at like 50% Hispanic home ownership rate. Yes, they've surpassed Black Americans. 50% of Hispanic Americans own their own homes. White America, 50 years ago, was around 70% of white Americans own their own homes. And it's still upwards of 70%. So I point out these real issues with Black America because until you know where we are, we cannot plot a course on where to go. So when I'm bringing up the issues with the Democratic Party, instead of you saying, where are we going to go? We're going to do what the Republicans, what do they do for us? I'm showing you the Democrats aren't doing anything for you either. And the only way we're going to get something out of someone, out of that party that benefits us as a whole, is if we are aware of what's going on and we start demanding it. Nobody buys milk. No one will buy the milk if they got the cow sitting at home. Only a fool. So housing, wages, cost of living, crime in our communities, public schools, healthcare, and jobs disappearing. These are the areas in which we need to be super focused. Super focused. It's all about policies. It's not about personalities. Personality. They want us focused on personalities. And we got to get away from personalities. We got to lead with the policy. And that's what this show is all about. Exposing the bullshit, calling it out, keeping it real, and realigning how we see the world around us. In the areas of U.S. politics, breaking news, and Black culture. Let's share it out. Let's let people know you're watching the most dangerous show in America. Tim Black Live. And nobody's safe. This is the most dangerous show in America. The Tim Black Show. No masters, no middlemen.